Girly pops, how the devil are we doing? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Weekly Wigs. If you are new here, hello, I am Megan Wigz. I am your host, your diva extraordinaire. It's the first time I've called myself that, to be fair, but I take a liking to it, Miss Diva Extraordinaire. Anyway, welcome. If you are new here, well, you need to get catching up, my friend. I think this will be episode 27 when you're listening. So go do some binging, binge listen / binge watch. We are available on all platforms, Spotify, Apple and YouTube. Welcome to the home of Yap. We call ourselves the residents of Yap City round here. And I am your mayor, Megan Wigz. We talk about all sorts on the Weekly Wigs. Pop, culture, politics, news, life, everything in between. There will probably be at least one episode for you on this series that I've done so far. Today's episode is a continuation of last week's with my guest Kate. If you haven't already, I would thoroughly recommend you go back and listen to part 1. It is like a continuation of our conversation, so it won't really make much sense if you haven't listened to part 1 and then you're only listening to this. So go back an episode 25. We had a nice little introduction to Kate and how we met and how we knew each other from childhood. We sort of ended the episode getting into some sort of stories around her experiences in the film industry, working in costume. And the second part, we're kind of diving straight back into that episode. So it's a bit of an abrupt start, but this is why I'm giving you like a bit of an explainer. So without further ado, let's get back into it.
And I always used to like, and another kind of reason why I ended up coming out of the industry was like, you know, and like, I don't know, it sounds a bit mean to say this, but like, I did used to look around and think like a lot of people are single, no kids, like, because you just can't have a life outside of it.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
It's quite like, I mean, even just like the antisocial hours of it all is a demanding enough thing that could easily impact like your social life, just like you said, having a life. Like it's almost like, I feel like it's a lifestyle almost, like
it is.
Working in that industry.
It is, and it's like I was frightened to death to like turn down a job because I was worried that they wouldn't employ me the next time. So then you know, you're not booking holidays or anything, and like I love going to the gym and like I love running. I didn't do any of that. I didn't have time. It was just like impossible. I had
Not
no
easy to have a
social
routine.
life. No, couldn't like socialize with anyone, couldn't make any commitments firmly. I just had to say maybe to absolutely everything. I never had a holiday. It was just, yeah.
I think that is an element of like media, film, or any creative industry really, where the freelance life is always something I've kind of toyed with and thought, I could do freelance. But then sometimes when you don't have that schedule or that just general stability, even from a financial point of just having a security in your job, like I couldn't imagine doing that unless I was in something that I knew was like reliable. So like if this pod was really successful and it was like really decent income and it was like fairly consistent, I think I'd thrive in like, I guess you would call that freelance, like the nature of sort of being your own boss and like being able to float around wherever you want to go. But when you're like answering to someone else and you're just reliant, like you said, on someone giving you an opportunity and hopefully getting a job, it's like, it's a bit different, that, isn't it? Because you're not really your own boss at that point. But it's kind of like you have to be, because you're the one searching for your own jobs, aren't you? But
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you are in a way your own boss, but you're still kind of working for the man, you know? It's just...
it's like a funny in-between, isn't it? Freelance. Yeah. I mean, you've obviously now moved away from freelance and you're more sort of in like your 9 to 5, like a corporate-esque job, shall we say. But are you finding that that's like a much better fit for you now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't love my job.
It's not the dream, like, you know? I'm the same. Girl, we've had those conversations off camera. We won't go into full detail, but I feel you.
But yeah, I mean, I think what I've learned, especially like in my 30s now, is just like I thrive off routine and like I just adore it. It's like I go to bed the same time every day. I wake up the same time every day. I open my laptop the same time every day, close my laptop. It's like, I know where I am. I know what I'm earning every month. And it's like, I haven't got to worry about taking like holidays or anything like that. Like, you know, there are perks to it. And like,
Yeah.
it's a lot, I have a lot of flexibility in my job. I get to, you know, if I've got to go off somewhere in the middle of the day, nobody's breathing down my neck to say, where are you, or anything like that. So there are definite like perks to it, but I do really miss like the creative side of it. And like, I
But
feel
you're
like,
fulfilling that now, aren't you? With
well,
your own platform, which I can now
yeah,
swing back round to that, and we
yeah,
can maybe talk about that a little bit. Because it's
yeah,
nice to, I feel you, like, I think I've said this on a previous episode where it's like, you go through your years, you do your graduation, whatever it is you're doing, and it's like you can have this period of time when you get into more of a 9 to 5 schedule where it is great and it has its perks, but like I think as creative people it can stifle it a bit sometimes. And
yeah,
ultimately, if you're someone who's grown up and that's like one of your passions and you're good at it and you enjoy it, like you do kind of want to keep that up somehow. So it's nice to see that you're obviously able to do that recently by making your own platform, which is
yeah.
doing very well, I will say.
Well, it's doing all right.
It's kicking off quite well, I would say.
Yeah, I've done all right. I really enjoy it. Like you said, I need to just do something because, you know, I'm just like dying here
It's a part
slowly.
of
My
you, isn't
soul
it?
is being
Yeah.
destroyed. And like, I have to do something. And like, in a way, it's, you know, it's like an amalgamation of everything that I've done, really. It's like the fashion side of it, but also like the performance element of it and like the editing and like stuff. You know, I enjoy all of it. And it's like, it does feel like a bit of a, not a performance, but you are kind of just like,
You're expressing yourself, aren't you?
yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe I can insert one of your videos in this pod here, or we'll link something
yeah,
just to showcase what we're actually talking about, because you essentially do like sort of get readies with me and like showcase different fashion outfits
yeah,
and like for different like occasions, and you're quite like you put like a little bit of personality into it, or like maybe sprinkle in something that's happening in your life that it's like relating to, like, oh,
yeah,
I'm going out on a date or something. So that's
yeah,
kind of the nature of what the content is, isn't it?
Style an outfit with me because I'm going to the pub where the men go to do man things like drink beer and talk about boobs. I'm not going to do either of those things. Ada's coming too. Also, I have about 200 followers now. I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal. So the vibe that I'm going for is incognito, celeb, undercover. No paparazzi, please. I just want to sit in the corner and nurse my Diet Coke and avoid any unwanted attention, especially from the opposite sex. I know some very lovely men. However, there is a percentage of you who are completely insufferable, a very large percentage. So I'm going for the 5 C's. Cool, cash, comfy, cozy, chic. Yeah, baby. I'm going to start with these joggers because they're Adidas and everything Adidas is amazing. Sorry, Ada, I'm showing you my bum here. That'll do. I'm going to wear this t-shirt, which has been scrunched up in my drawer for about 18 centuries. But I'm going to have a hoodie on, and I'm not going to take it off. So it's fine. I went to Italy in May, thinking it was going to be about 25 degrees. It was actually about 12. So I went to Primark and bought this hoodie, which saved my life. I need some jewellery, these hoops, my evil eye necklace to fight off any unwanted spirits, some rings, this lovely coat which I have not stopped wearing since I bought. That's a sign of a good purchase. I haven't even got any shoes on yet. Platform gazelles, and this bag. You cannot be a celeb undercover without a pair of specs. And that's the look. Remember, the only way to style an outfit is however the heck you want to style it. Are you ready for the pub? Yeah. Goodbye.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not going on dates anymore. Just
She's locked
just to
in.
clear that
She's
up.
locked in.
But no, I was going on dates at one point, and yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. It's like, it's just like a little outlet for me, really. And like I said, I just really enjoy it, and I think it's like, it's nice. Like you said, I like, you know, the fact that my like personality comes across, and because I think I said to you the other day when we were just having a chat, like I've thought about like switching up the format a little bit and just doing like I don't know, just like getting dressed or like just with like music over the top. But
Yeah.
I like talking and like sharing a bit about my life in my
Yeah.
videos. I think it makes it more personal and
I think that's what draws people to that kind of content, though, because like what am I trying to say? Like the accessibility now of social media and TikTok, and the fact that people can literally just pick up a phone and we get to learn about someone, and I think a lot of people like that kind of content because it's sort of like just being on FaceTime with a friend, isn't it?
yeah,
Like it gives people a connection, which I feel like is very much missing in post-COVID days, which we sort of spoke about, didn't we, the other
yeah.
day, like how people seem to just be really antisocial and no one's connected as humans anymore. But I feel like the great thing about this type of content is like it brings people in. It's like, oh, you learn about that person's life and maybe they can
Yeah.
relate and say stuff in the comments too. And it's like, it's a nice way to be able to connect with like an audience of people, and
Yeah.
especially those who may have a similar interest with fashion or outfits.
Mm.
And there's a reason, I think, why that type of content does so well, because it's, at the end of the day, it is quite everyday life content.
Yeah.
Like it is quite niche in the sense of what you're putting out there, but it's something that's relatable to people.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like everyone loves watching those get ready with me videos. Like they're really like a popular form of content. So,
Mm.
and if you can obviously just sprinkle a personality in there, then that's like a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, they are the videos that I always engage with. That's the type of content I love watching. And like,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think maybe there's something in the fact that like we are missing a bit of like human connection. Like when
Yeah.
somebody's talking to you through a phone, it like almost gives you that kind of feeling without actually engaging with people. So yeah, I really enjoy it. And like I said, like that's the type of stuff that I have always engaged with. So I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to give it a go. And like,
Oh, go on.
no, I was just going to say, like you were saying earlier, like it's not like a wild thing to imagine that like that could actually become something more than what it is now. Like
Yeah.
I was, when I was in drama school, I was in drama school with, do you know Maddie Grace Jepson?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
she's superstar these days, isn't she?
Well,
Isn't
that's
she
what I
doing
mean.
she's doing a musical right now, isn't she?
Yeah, she
Or
did Back
something?
to the Future.
Oh wow,
She's
that's cool
about to
that you
go
went to
on
school with her.
The Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh,
She's
is
done
she?
so well
She's
for
hilarious.
herself.
I discovered her through TikTok and the whole.
Yeah, well,
She's the one
exactly.
who's like, "What do you having for your tea?"
But I can remember,
Jacket
like,
potato.
we graduated, I think, the same year, and like
Oh, that's cool.
her struggling, like, you know, not really getting anywhere and like auditioning and like clearly didn't really like
Yeah.
flourish until her online presence
Yeah.
became huge.
Yeah.
And now look at her, she's like
Well, it's the same
flying.
with what's that other Hannah Lowther is her name? Is that her
Oh, I
name?
don't know her.
You know, oh she's a really big West End star now. She went very viral back in the pandemic days when TikTok was really at its height, and she used to work in Tesco just like
Oh,
as
really?
a stacking the shelves, and she used to do like TikToks of herself at work, like dancing and just doing silly things, and she went super
Yeah.
viral. And now she's just been in, like the Heathers. She was on some other stuff in the West
Oh.
End, and she's like a really big like global name now. Well, global, I don't know, but she's like a big name in the UK.
Yeah.
And she did, I think, like acting or musical theatre, but she couldn't like get anywhere until her virality, basically. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a reality, and I think that's like for me why I've really like launched into the podcast of it all lately, because podcasts are so huge now, and it's like you go all those years and you lose that creativity, and I'm the same, like the 9 to 5 and blah blah blah, and then you're like, oh my god, there's like a world of opportunity out there. And I think we've probably seen that a lot in the last like 5 years since the sort of explosion of TikTok. It's quite like exciting. It's like, oh, anyone could make this happen,
Yeah.
truthfully, if you've got enough of belief in yourself. And I think the nice thing about like social media as well is that you can actually be like a small creator and kind of make a decent living. You don't necessarily have to be like really, really mega viral. You don't need millions and millions of followers. You could be, I think they literally call them micro influencers. Like people can be at that level and still have like brand deals and make money off of social content. And I think the threshold for like TikTok for like the creator program for earning money on views is like 10,000 followers,
Oh, really?
which is not actually, when you think about it, like a massive threshold.
No.
So it's kind of nice that there's opportunities out there for like smaller creators too, and not just the big names.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, I never really, when I started, I was just like, I just want something to do, basically.
Yeah, to like express your creativity,
yeah.
basically.
So
Yeah,
I never really thought about like what opportunities could come from it. But you're right, it's like nothing's out of the question. That's kind of why
World's
I
your
thought,
oyster.
yeah, I'm gonna do it, because I was like watching videos and thinking, oh well, I can do that. I can just like, have a bit of a chat and chuck an outfit on. Why not?
Me and Amber always had this conversation about this similar type of topic, and we're just like, well, I'm not being funny. There is an infinite amount of money in this world,
Mm,
and it's not that it's about the money, but it's like in terms of just making it like a livable wage. Like, there's so much out there if you think about it, like on a deeper level. Like,
yeah.
money's flying everywhere. There's opportunity everywhere if you really like lock in and you're just kind of consistent with it. Because I think, truthfully, another thing I think matters when it comes to maybe making that a bit of a success is it
Mm,
about consistency, because it can be quite easy to just like get on a little hype and then it all flitters off and then you just
yeah.
don't really bother with it, which can be like some people's trajectory in that world. But I think
Mm,
if you're just passionate about something and you enjoy it, and a lot of the time if you're just doing it from like an organic place, that can sometimes be what propels you to like a bit more success, because it's like,
yeah.
oh, I'm not like pretending to be something here. Like, I'm just doing something I like, and like if that turns into something, then great.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think like, yeah, you're right. Like I've kind of like got fallen off the wagon a little bit, like over the last couple of months, I would say, with like my content and stuff, because well, I've been training for this bloody marathon and it was like all getting a
Yeah.
bit overwhelming. And like when you work in 9 to 5 as
Oh,
well, and like
it is
it's
hard.
tough. It's
Oh,
really tough. And I was like, right, I'm gonna have to sacrifice something here. But like you
yeah.
said, I'm passionate about it and I don't want to give it up. So I'm like, I'm back on the wagon now a little bit. But like you said, it's like when you're passionate enough about something, you can kind of just make it work. And like you said, when
Yeah.
it's like authentic, like as well, like coming from like an authentic place and it's not, I don't have to like leave the house to do it. It's literally just
It's
part of
quite
my
nice and easy. Yeah.
everyday routine is like I'm getting dressed for the day and like
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
record it.
I will say that, like, to be fair, I think you go through waves of creativity, even if you were someone who was like, this was your full-time job
Mm,
and you were like locked in. I think it's fair to say that you would still have those moments of like, I just don't feel much inspiration at the minute, or I don't
mm,
have a mojo. Because I've definitely gone through phases of that, even throughout my consistent phases of like, sometimes you can feel like, oh, am I just like saying this for the sake of saying this? Or do I even care about what I'm talking about? Or
mm.
like, am I making this TikTok because I want to, or because I feel like, like, I think it's fair to say that the cycle, it goes around. Like, it just comes in waves. Sometimes you can be full of creativity and be on a right roll and you're just churning out the content. And other
Mm.
times I think it's okay to probably just take a break and like
Yeah,
live life. And that's where you kind of need to get some of your inspiration from sometimes when you're
yeah,
doing creative stuff online, because you gotta like see the world to feel it. That sounds like a
yeah.
really cheesy quote, but it's
No,
like,
it's
it's
right.
true, it is. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta experience it. You can't just like magic things out of thin air if you haven't had experienced life, have you?
No. And it's like, yeah, you have to kind of almost pretend that you're that thing before you are actually that
Yeah,
thing. And it's
yeah.
like a lot of the time, like big creators and stuff, they have like a whole PR team, they have like a
Oh,
whole,
I know.
creative
Management
direction team, and like,
teams. Yeah.
they're all giving inspiration, they're all giving input
Oh,
when it's just you and
that's the
you
dream
alone.
sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. When
Yeah.
I have my moments where I'm just like stressed and I'm like, I'm making plans for pod episodes and I'm on the side, I'm doing all my editing for that, which is quite time consuming.
Mm.
And then I'm also doing TikTok content. And oh my God, before I was also doing live streams. Oh, I
Yeah.
had to stop. That was my sacrifice, because I was like, girlies, love you, love having a little sing song. But like, it was getting too much. I was like,
Yeah.
and the thing with live streams as well is you generally have to do it late at night because people aren't really watching it in the day. So
Mm.
I was just like, it was ruining my sleep pattern. I was like, no, I can't like put all my eggs in one
Yeah,
basket. So
yeah.
it is hard, but like, it's when you have those moments and you realise that actually I am able to do this all by myself, which is kind of a miracle because, like you said, they got agents, they got people doing their social media, they got editors. Do you know how much time consuming editing is?
I know.
You know what I mean? It takes hours to edit, and I'm like, you jammy buggers, you got teams behind you.
No,
So
I know.
I don't like, I think props to people who can do that, but there's definitely times where I'd love to have a little social media person like figuring out a marketing campaign for me. Like, come on, push up my numbers. Like, what has the gal got to do?
I
But
know.
it builds resilience in you, I guess. And I think everyone's got to start somewhere, haven't they? So
Yeah.
we're doing the
Exactly.
thing, girl. We're doing
We
it.
are. We are literally
We're pushing
doing
out the
it.
content, and I'll make sure to put all the stuff in the bio so people can go drop you a follow. You're on TikTok and Instagram, right? With your
Yes.
profile?
Yes.
Let's get those follows up.
Yeah.
And we'll...
I'm not very good at TikTok. I'm like quite new to TikTok, to be honest. And like I was like determined not to be part of that train for a while. I like to rebel against things which are really popular in the beginning, and then I'm like, oh, this is great. Why have I never used this before?
TikTok is definitely an interesting place to say that. I definitely think TikTok is a bit more of a cesspit for trolls, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I've been having my fair share of trolls all up in my comments as of late because I had a viral video. It's actually quite entertaining. Me and my friend Josie were reading through the hate comments when I was in Barcelona the other day and just giggling because you kind of have to laugh at it. It was so stupid. It's literally, I did a little story time about this Camp America thing I did, which I did I think it's episode 2 of this pod, if you want to listen to the full thing, plug to the audience. And it was just like a funny little trend where you like do a reel of photos telling like a story, and I told this story, and it's a bit of like comedic effect because it's obviously like a TikTok trend, right?
Yeah.
And it went very viral, and it's on like almost 1 million views at the minute.
Wow.
And it's obviously gathered a lot of opinions, and like I've got like 500 plus comments at the minute, and lots of people are just like, you're a quitter, you'll never get anywhere in life, because I didn't end up doing this Camp America thing. And people just toasted me in the comments. I'm like, oh, okay, this is where the cesspit of trolls come to live, is the TikTok's comment section. But to be honest, I'm being like really negative about this, but I think if you were someone who wanted to maybe do social media or maybe make that a living or be an online creator, whatever you want to call yourself, like, I think you have to accept that that is going to always be part of it. Not that it should be, because people should just not be a knob, but it's just people online are weird. They're just weird. And some people are lovely, but there's just some bizarre folk out there on the internet. And I'm so used to that over the last 5 years, because I've had a few videos on my TikTok that have gone viral, and you always just get all sorts of bizarre comments, but you kind of just have to let it like float over your head, because it's just like, who cares? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But
no, but it's the only way. It's just, you've got to just let it go, haven't you? I mean, you can't take anybody's opinion to heart. And like, if those people were stood right in front of you, they'd never have the balls to say that.
Never.
There's something going on in their lives. That's their problem.
And what you find most of the time is that most of those like troll comments are people that don't even follow you. They just will come across you on like one post and then they leave like a hate comment. But I've had so many lovely like, I don't want to say fans because that sounds a bit like big-headed, but like followers. Like, I've had lots of really nice followers who have literally followed me for years.
Yeah.
And they always used to like come and watch my lives, and they're very dedicated, and like they still will comment like nice things on posts now. And it's like, I think once you find like the community of people that actually follow you for you, and they obviously relate or they like what the content is, like those are the people you ultimately like have to focus on, because if you were to allow some silly little troll to like ruin your day, it's just, what's the point in it?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But I often think about like, like major celebrities and like the amount, and like especially like people who come off Love Island and stuff like that, who've never like
so intense,
been in the public eye, and then they suddenly, and like I feel like Love Island fans are like ruthless as well, and like I feel like that show just breeds like negativity, but God, it must be so tough to like, be able to like block out the noise when you're in that situation.
Did you, when you were sort of like pursuing acting and
Mm,
maybe thinking of, I mean, ultimately, if you were to be like a successful actor or a performer, that comes with often being in the public eye. Like,
mm.
was that ever something you thought about in your younger years whilst you were pursuing like your passions in that? And did it ever cross your mind of like what that could potentially look like if you really were like in it like that?
I don't know. I think I've always liked the idea of being like famous, but I think now that I'm older, like I think the reality of it, like I'm not really sure how that would sit with me. Because like I said, I really love like alone time and just like
Yeah,
being by myself and just like being able to shut the world out. Like I think I would find that very difficult to like cope with. But like I don't think I ever really thought, oh, I'm gonna be famous. I think my parents have always been quite conservative, and they've grown up in a world where you just like get a job and then you kind of work your way up in that
mm-hmm.
industry and you stay with that company for 40, 50
Same, yeah.
years and then you leave. So it was always, even when I said, and they've always like really supported me, my parents, and God love them. They paid thousands for me to go to drama school, and like they did
Mm-hmm.
all the things. They came to see all the shows, but like it was always like, well, you know, it's very tough to be an actor, though.
Yeah,
Like
just stick
rather
with
than,
it.
yeah, I would have loved to have been in like a situation where people were like, you can do that. But then I've also seen the other side of it, where like people's parents have been like that, and they've turned into like crazy, like just
Stage
like
moms.
ruthless, yeah, like
Yeah.
absolutely just like cannot fail because my parents will disown me, sort of. And like, that's not good either. So
No.
I don't know. It's like I said, I don't think I ever really properly considered like being famous or anything like
No.
that.
I don't think most people would, in fairness. Like,
No.
it's sort of like you have a basic level awareness that some kind of pathway in the arts industry, whether it's a performer, an actor, podcaster, online person, like that that element could be a part of the job if you
Mm,
succeeded in that life and that was your world. But like, it's not the forefront. You don't sit there as a kid going, I want to grow up and be famous. It's like, no, I want to be a singer, right? You do it
yeah.
for the love of like whatever the hobby or the thing is. Um, but it is kind of an interesting trajectory when you go through social media, because it's like people at a very high level, they do become like famous, but they were just very
Mm,
normal people before. So it's like, it's such a weird
yeah.
juxtaposition.
It
But
was
I
like
guess,
one of the girls who I work with, do you know, is this Charlotte Greedy? She's
who's that?
quite successful. She lives down the road from us.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sure she went to
Oh,
ballet
I
with
never.
us,
I'm
but she's
gonna I'm gonna search
really,
it.
yeah, look for it. She's like, I think it's called like Greedy's Home or something, her
Oh,
Instagram. She's massively successful now on Instagram. She's got thousands of followers.
wow.
Um, but like, yeah, she's lived around us. I feel like I've just like known of her just because she's, I don't know, lived in Pontyclean or wherever she lives anyway. But one of the girls in work with me the other day, she was like, oh, I took my son to rugby and shot, Greedy was there, or Miss Greedy's home, or wherever her bloody Instagram's called. And she was like, I was so starstruck. I was like, she's just a person.
That's
She's just a
weird.
human being. Like, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I feel genuinely, and I think especially like having worked in the film industry, I think the only person I would ever be like lose my shit over is Louis Theroux. Like if I met Louis Theroux, I'd be like, wow, because I
Starstruck.
love Louis Theroux. But like to get starstruck over someone who just is making videos in their living room is a bit
It is
wild.
bizarre. It is bizarre. Like the whole idea of fame and celebrity is just a strange concept in itself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different levels to it, but I agree. It's like I've seen lots of famous people in person.
Mm.
Like I've spotted celebs in London. I've been to like shows, and you see them, and it's like they're right there in front of you. But it's like, well, we all shit and pee, like like to
Yeah.
put it like really simple. Like we all just literally do the same stuff, and it is bizarre how people like lose their minds over.
I
Oh, some
know.
like I was working a conference yesterday. I won't go give any revealing details away, but
Mm.
there was like a famous athlete there, and like I didn't really know who he was before, but then I learned about him, and it was like I was doing my job and I was doing stuff on the computer, and then this guy like came up to me and was like, "Can you take a photo of us?" And he was like a grown man. He was probably like a 40-year-old man, and he was so excited. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And you know, no hate. Like I probably would equally feel the same if if Britney Spears was right next to me or Julie Andrews, I'd lose my shit. I'd be like, "Oh!" But it's just, it is funny how we all lose our inhibitions. You're like, calm down. It's just a human.
Yeah. I mean, I've always found it like really icky. Like I can't get on board with it.
People are very like fake in that moment, aren't they? It's all very gushing. And it's like, you could just literally speak to him like a human. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. But I guess everyone's got their starstruck people. So Louis Theroux is yours. Is there anyone else in that list?
Well,
or like a top 3?
I don't know. I mean, Amy Winehouse would have been like on my top.
R.I.P.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, sad.
Yeah, bless her. Who else do I don't know. I'm not really that, like I said, I'm just not really that asked about anyone. No, I don't think I would be starstruck over meeting anyone, to be honest. I really don't.
No.
I would just, there's people who I'd love to have conversations with, but I can never imagine just going up to somebody and being like, "Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with you."
Who would you have? You know that classic question of like, who would you have at your dinner, like alive or dead, like 5 people? Like, who would be your 5 people if we had to think now?
Oh God, 5. Well, okay, definitely Louis Theroux, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
It would be a bit of a wild dinner party, probably. Who else? I really don't know. Who do I admire? Maybe Alan Sugar. I like Alan Sugar.
Oh my God, fun fact. I got a tweet from Alan Sugar.
Did you?
When I remember in, I think it was in 6th form, this was like the height of Twitter, where Twitter was like the thing. And obviously connection and interaction with celebrities was probably opened up massively through Twitter, because it was like the first time celebrities could interact with fans like that. Because when you think about it, like pre-social media, that wasn't a way of communicating with celebs. It was just if you ever saw them in a concert or in person, that was it. So then celebs obviously reply to people and they retweet and all this kind of stuff. And we had like some stupid little bet on about like, within the space of like 2 weeks, who could get the most like likes or retweets or response from like celebs on Twitter. And I just noticed that Alan Sugar was responding to a lot of people about his like new book or something that was coming out. So I just made up that I'd read his book. I was like, "Oh my God, I love your book." And then he responded like, "Fuck you."
Oh, really?
And I was like, "Look at it, guys. I got Alan Sugar to reply to me."
Oh.
Anyway, that's my claim to fame.
Yeah,
that's a really random person, actually. Alan Sugar. Who would have thought?
I think it's because I've been rewatching The Apprentice lately.
Okay.
I'm really well. Actually, there's been a new series on as well, hasn't there?
Is there?
I've been watching that. Yeah, I do really like it. I think it's good, and I think he's just like a geezer. I think he's just like a bit down to earth.
So Alan Sugar, Amy Winehouse, who was the other person? Louis Theroux.
Yeah.
2 more.
I feel like these are all a bit basic so far.
Do you want to sprinkle a musician in there, maybe? We haven't got any musicians. Oh, actually, Amy Winehouse, obviously.
Yeah.
I was wondering, industry-wise, like maybe we could switch up the industries.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like an athlete or anyone.
Oh, God, who would I have? I'm trying to think of an author I like, but I can't really think. Oh, I tell you who I'd have, RuPaul.
Oh, yes. I would so have this. RuPaul would have stories for days. That
100%.
He is so funny, RuPaul. Yeah, I would so pick RuPaul.
And
Great
actually,
choice.
now that I'm thinking of it, I think Catherine Ryan would be a hell of a laugh.
She's quite funny. Yeah, that would be. Can you imagine Catherine Ryan and Ru just cracking jokes at each other and him doing his cackle?
I know.
So good.
Yeah.
I would have, alongside RuPaul, I would have Adele, because I feel like Adele's a bit of a stand. Like, she's very funny, Adele is. And I've seen her in concert, and she's honestly like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Between her songs, she's like, obviously she's a great singer, but she's just cracking out the jokes. And I could just imagine like her and RuPaul like bouncing off each other. That would be an absolute hoot.
Yeah. No, I have heard that about Adele. Loads of people say she's really funny.
Great. Yeah. Who would I have in mind? That's a good lineup, by the way.
Thanks.
I would have RuPaul Adele. I would have Julie Andrews because she's just like my icon, my queen.
Yeah.
And like she would just have the most amazing stories of like the old Hollywood days and like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
old school, like she fucking knew Walt Disney, like, do you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
and I've always watched interviews of her where she's just so eloquent in the way she speaks. I would just be like transfixed by her. Britney Spears, of course, because she's my icon,
Obviously.
my queen. Oh, poor Britney.
It would
I feel
be-
so...
Yeah, it would be quite
a
nasty,
healed
I
version of
think.
Britney.
Yeah.
It would have to be
bless
like a
her.
really perfect healed version of her because we can't be having her like throwing knives around the table. Like, do you know
No.
what I mean? Oh, poor girl. But she would have to be there because it's Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
Who would be the final spot? Who would be the final spot? I feel like I'm making this very woman heavy with just one of the gays.
Yeah.
I do feel like, truthfully, I would want just the girls and the gays. I'm
yeah,
not
to
gonna
be
lie.
fair, like
Do
straight
I want
men
a straight
can fuck
man
off,
there?
let's be
No.
honest.
There's no one really that captivating to me because I'm so drawn to like the pop girls of it all. We've got Adele, Britney, Julia Andrews, RuPaul. Oh, it's actually quite hard actually to think on the
It
spot.
is really tough. I tell you, one who
who's,
I just thought of actually
on.
is Prue Leith. I quite like her as well.
Oh my god, my mum and dad actually were on a flight with her once.
Are they?
They went to South Africa and she was in the lounge and
Oh,
she's quite old, Prue Leith.
she's like
She-
80, I
she's pretty,
think. or-
Like, yeah, she's getting on. She's left the Bake Off now, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She would be
she's
interesting.
Nice. She seems
She could
really
share
nice.
some recipes with you, you know,
Yeah.
for some bacon.
Some recipes that I would never
Um,
fucking make.
Or Mary Bears, maybe.
yeah.
I feel like I do need to add in a man for balance, you know, but there's no one like sticking out to me that I'm thinking.
No.
Yeah,
Don't feel
you.
pressured to put a man in there. I'm
No,
all
I
for
feel
the
like I need
girls
to
and the gays.
let me resort to my like Spotify. Like, it's probably honestly going to be like a musician because I feel like I'll just find them kind of fascinating. Who am I listening to right now? I mean, my ultimate is always being Brit. I do quite like Tate McRae, but as much as I like her, I'm not that interested in like giving her the final
Having a
spot.
conversation.
No hate.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know who I'd have? Lady Gaga.
Oh, yeah, good
Oh
one.
my God, I
That's
mean,
not a
come
man, but
on.
it's okay.
Yeah, she would fit. She would get on well with everyone. She would
She
also
would.
probably have some interesting like stories to tell of her life. So some
Yeah.
good lineups there, I'd
It's
say.
a class lineup.
Fabulous. Well, I think that leads us on quite nicely to our final sort of quick fire round. We're going to do some
Yeah.
hot or not. And I'm
I'm
going to just
excited
like
for
go
this.
through people/topics and just give me like your general reaction and thoughts. It doesn't have to be like one answer. You can just elaborate if you want. So,
Okay.
okay, quick fire, hot or not.
Okay.
Donald Trump.
Oh, is that a serious question?
It is.
Sorry.
I'm throwing him in there.
Oh, no. Definitely
No, as in
fucking
like
not.
you can say whatever you want about him. Is it hot or not?
Well, can I say the C word?
I mean, I don't know if the monetize. I feel
No.
like we might get banned off the internet, but
Yeah, I won't
you
say
can
that.
say like the
but
abbreviation, the C next Tuesday.
yeah, I feel quite
Would
strongly
agree.
about the fact that he is not
Nice man.
at all. He's just
This
not
is the
hot
correct
at all.
answer.
Yeah.
Hmm. He is an absolute arse. I don't know how he hasn't dropped dead yet. Is the truth.
I hate. Do you know what? Every time his name comes up in conversation, I just feel like I just recoil in horror. I hate even hearing his name, and it's like he gets so much airtime as well. I'm just like,
Mhm.
I just wanna eradicate him from my life. I just don't want him in
Same.
my brain. I don't want him in my vicinity. I don't want him anywhere. I don't want him anywhere near me. I just like
I could not agree more. I genuinely, I know this is like, you know, I was saying this, ha ha he, I don't wish death on anyone, but like, I genuinely am so shocked that no one has successfully assassinated him.
I
When I
literally had
talk
this
about-
conversation the other day.
Like, historically, many presidents have been assassinated, okay? Like, political figures, unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. Not that I condone death, but it's like the fact that he got clipped on the ear and then someone bloody shoots Charlie Kirk bullseye in the neck. And I'm just like, how has no one done it to him yet? I'm
I
actually really
know.
shocked that no one's managed to succeed in doing it. Because I thought that would have taken him out because of how hated he is. I was like, damn,
Mm.
got a cat with 9 lives over there.
No, honestly, I had this exact conversation, and I've like you said, like I would never ever wish death upon anyone,
No.
but I can't believe he hasn't been assassinated.
It's crazy work.
But it's the fact that he's even in office is just like wild to me. Like
It's
the people,
twice.
yeah, they made
Oh.
that mistake once and they made the exact same
Oh
mistake
my God.
again.
I could never imagine living in America, period, but certainly not during these times. Like,
No.
I've always thought America is a bit of a funny country in that, like, you know, I've been there as a tourist and there's some great parts. Obviously, I've got New York on my wall,
Yeah.
favorite place on earth. But it's like, it's one thing being a tourist there, but I've always taken away with me when I've come away from it thinking, it's actually a very backwards country in many ways. It's all about like land of the free, we're great, we're amazing. But then realizing from like a young age, like they don't even have healthcare. And it's just,
No.
it's insanity to me that people who live there literally have to pay like thousands of dollars for an ambulance or some nonsense. It's like,
I know.
that's just not normal.
No.
I don't know. I really don't know how people live there or afford to live there, to be honest.
Well, my partner is like really wants to move somewhere. We're undecided
Don't
where
go
really,
to America.
but
Don't do
yeah,
it.
he has floated the idea of America, and I'm like, I'm not going to America right now.
Not unless you're rich.
Not.
I feel like
No.
unless you've got a lot of money behind you, then don't do it.
Yeah,
it can be a
just don't want
struggle.
to be there at all. I just
No,
not while
not with
Trump's
the current
there.
press.
No.
I literally, well, I'll get deported, mate, because he's got this whole thing going on, isn't he, about like checking people's social media.
Yeah.
at
Well,
the-
yeah.
Oh, if I stepped foot into American Border Patrol, he would just have to come on to the Weekly Wigs and immediately boot me out. So won't be seeing me
Oh,
anytime soon,
God.
which
Yeah.
is a shame because I do miss going to America, but it's scary times. But okay, well, that's a solid answer. Fuck
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the consensus. Okay. Hot or not, nightclubs.
Not.
No.
I want to be in bed by 9 o'clock. I don't have the
Same.
energy for a nightclub. I was,
Your answer would have been very different probably 10 years ago.
Oh God, yeah, very
Same with me.
different. Very
Mhm.
bloody different. But I was like, funnily, like I said, I've been listening to Olivia Atwood's podcast, but she is like, keeps banging on about how nightclubs are coming back into fashion and rah
No,
rah
they're
rah.
not.
Nah,
They're
not
dying
for
a
me.
death.
Yeah,
They're
No,
generally
I
shutting
agree.
down like there's no tomorrow.
I
Which
know.
in some sense is kind of sad for like that industry. Like I feel sad that people are losing their jobs because of it. But I mean, no offense, can you blame them? Because like people aren't interested in drinking anymore. The cost of drinks and nights out is so expensive. And it's like they're not really doing much to appeal to people anymore, unfortunately, are
No.
they?
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. I can't, honestly,
No.
I can't stay awake long enough to enter a nightclub. I'm like
No.
asleep way before they open.
I also, like, again, maybe this comes back to just I enjoy, like, a nice conversation. It's like, I hate that when you're in the club and it's just you can't hear anyone and it's just, it's so loud. And I'm like, I just don't really like this environment.
No.
My knees hurt. I don't want to stand up all night and dance.
No,
Like,
exactly.
I want to have a little sit in a chin wag. But yeah, no, fair. I agree with you. Hot nightclubs, not hot anymore. Okay.
No.
Next one, very apt for you as of late. Marathons.
Oh, hot.
Hot. Maybe not to your legs. They might not
Very
feel hot on
hot.
your legs.
No.
No.
Oh, no,
But
they're
you're
very
really
hot.
into your running, aren't you?
Yeah, I just did my first marathon for anybody.
Congratulations. That's quite a big achievement, to be fair.
I know, thank you. No, I am really chuffed. I'm like, yeah, I'm so pleased with myself and I'm not going to shut up about it ever.
Got your medal? You should have got your
Yeah.
medal on screen. Show
I
it.
know, I should have. They gave me a t-shirt and a medal. I am actually genuinely thinking of like framing them, but
Oh, do it. That's
which
a
is a
good
bit
idea.
sad, but it's an achievement and I might never do another one because I've absolutely...
I was going to ask you, are you planning to do any more? Or was that ticked off just the one?
Well, I mean, I started training in like January for it and I hated every single second of the training. Like it was so tough and it was like all throughout the winter, like the rain, and I was like going out on my own and like running bloody 30 kilometers and oh God, it was just like the mental strain that took, or like the mental resilience it takes to like get your ass out of bed and go for a run in the pouring rain and the freezing cold
Especially in this country.
is beyond. Yeah. And I
No.
was like, I'd swore the whole time that I would never, ever, ever commit myself to another. But then on the day, it was just so good. I just loved
It's
it.
a
And
really
I
good
was like, oh my
atmosphere.
God, I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do this again.
And you kicked it off in a pretty good city, if I do say so myself,
Yeah.
up in Manchester. I was typically not here that weekend, but I went last year though as a spectator, and it was just really fun even watching it. It's just seeing all the. I was actually in the background on the telly, which cracks me up to this day. I was on BBC
Aw.
iPlayer. I was like, whoa, because they have like real professional marathon athletes, don't they? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
real proper runners, like fully competing, and they have. It's on TV, isn't it? Usually.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had like a full camera squad like following, and they are so fast. Oh my God. Seeing them in person, the way they run, they're like
No, they are.
speeding through. I was like, oh my God. But everyone like comes through in outfits, and people are in fancy dress, and it's like there's so many different stations along the route of the marathon, isn't there, where everyone's just out like cheering and
Yeah,
giving out things and sweets and all sorts of things. But
yeah.
that's what keeps you going, doesn't it? Doing all
Yeah.
that time.
I mean, I think that was a massive part of it. It was like we chose to do Manchester because it is such a big one. Like I think it's
Yeah.
like the second biggest after London, and like yeah, the support was just like so good the whole way round. There was just people screaming and like saying your name because your
Mhm.
name's on your bib and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
giving you sweets and like fresh oranges, and it was just great. And like there's like DJs and stuff. I was like, this is like just humanity at its best. It's like with all the negativity going on and all the shitty
Mhm.
people in the world, is like it just proves there are really good people out there. And
There's
it
good
was like,
stuff happening.
yeah,
And
it
it's a
was,
huge personal achievement, ultimately, like physically and mentally. Like the fact that, not a lot of people can say that they can do a marathon. So
no, well,
that in
apparently
itself
less
is,
than
yeah.
1% of the
Yeah.
population, although I
Wow.
find that difficult to believe nowadays. It feels like everybody's running marathons.
Couldn't be me, hun. Couldn't
No.
be me. Solid pass on that. But
Yeah.
no, I admire people who couldn't even do a bloody 5K, to be quite frank. Like, I think
Well,
we're
that's
actually having the
it.
half marathon this weekend. I think that is
Are
happening in
you?
Manchester this weekend, yeah. There's
Oh,
always a bloody
cool.
marathon going on, yeah. There's lots of like smaller runs they do as well, but this is it now. You're gonna notch them up, knock the
Yeah.
medals out.
I
Maybe
know.
London Marathon next. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I entered the
Exciting.
ballot today for London
Oh,
Marathon.
did you?
So
Ooh, you gotta
we
wait
shall
to find out if
see.
it's successful.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, so marathons, hot, very hot.
Mm.
Okay, next one, festivals.
I think hot. It
Have you been
depends
to
on.
many festivals?
I've never been to a festival.
I just admire them from afar.
I can admire them, and like it always looks really fun. And when I see Glastonbury,
Yeah.
I'm always like, "Wow,
Oh,
I would love
love
to be
watching them
there."
on the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the reality, I would only ever do it if I could like stay in like one of the glamping tents,
VIP.
or
Yeah.
do it the proper
Same.
way. I'm not gonna piss in a dirty
I'm too
toilet.
bougie for that shit.
Yeah, no,
No.
that's not for me.
I
That's
don't like
not.
camping, none of it.
Nor me.
Like, and the UK festivals in particular are like, their reputation is just mud. Like,
Yeah.
we just don't take pride in like appearance in the UK.
No.
Everything, like the portaloos get stuffed and blocked, and people are just feral. People are feral in the UK,
Yeah,
and then
no,
you
they
see like the
are.
Coachella of it all, and everyone's very aesthetic, and it's all like very well kept and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, festivals, I love watching them on the TV. I did just watch all the Coachella over the weekend on like YouTube, which was really good. Love watching Glasgow when it comes on telly, but I'm too bougie for that shit. I'm just weak. I'm
No,
like,
I
I would
am.
moan. I'd be like, I'm not gonna stand there. Oh, I'm hot. Oh, I'm hot. I would be so miserable in person. But I do love concerts though. Like when it's just like a
Yeah.
one person thing, and there's like an opportunity for you to like sit down or stand up, living my best life there. But maybe I'm just lazy, but I just don't like standing for that long. I'm like, this is like hurting my back. This is like takes
No,
away
it
from the
does hurt your
pleasure of
back.
like the artist, you know?
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
like that combined with like being disgustingly dirty because you haven't washed for like 3
Mhm.
days, and
Oh,
like in the
I hate
blistering
that.
heat. Yeah, that
No.
and not
You've
being
got to be
able to have a
hardcore for the
nice.
festivals.
Yeah, you have not be able to
Yeah.
like sit on a nice clean toilet seat and just like
Ooh,
have a wee in peace. No quiet time, no downtime. I think it would be.
no.
Maybe it's not hot, actually.
The closest I've ever been to a festival, and it's not a festival, but it's something that me and my family have always done, like growing up, because my brother's a pilot and we were like a bit of an aviation family. We have often gone to these like air shows, which is a bit like they just have like big flying displays of like fast jet. It's really quite an interesting day, but it's a little bit like a day festival in that you do have to like take a full car of stuff with you. You take like a cooler box with your picnic food and your camp chairs, and you just set up like a little spot for the day where they have it like in an airfield place, and then you obviously watch the planes all day. But like as we've aged a bit and like as my parents get older, I think we're realising, and because it's in the summer where it's quite warm, we have to do this massive trot from the car park into the festival grounds, and it's so tiring. You're like, oh my God, and you're like traipsing about with picnic bags, and it's all really heavy, and you have to go through like all the security checks and all this stuff. By the time you get in, you're just like, I'm exhausted. I just want to like not do anything for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And I think when we're in the air show, like it's okay when you get there because you are literally just sat like watching planes all day, but you don't have that luxury as much at a music festival because you're just going sometimes from stage to stage, or you're just up on your feet a lot, and it's like, yeah, I don't think I would thrive in that environment myself.
No,
but
I don't either.
props to people who do it. So we'll give it a hot and a not, I'd say, with the festivals. All right, next one, Nigel Farage.
Not.
Yes,
definitely
correct
not.
answer.
Yeah.
Very interesting times in Wales at the minute, isn't it? With this upcoming election, got the is it like a Senedd election? I think. Well, actually, there's one here as well in England on this. Is it next week, the 7th of May? But it's quite a significant one because I think it's to do with like who represents the Senedd, right? Like the different parties, and it's not looking great. It's looking like Nigel and Reform are trying to sort of take over in Wales a bit, aren't they? Which is not what we want to see.
No, it's definitely not. But I don't know. Again, like politics for me, I'm just like, I partake a bit, but I just like, I try and avoid as much as I can, which I know it sounds really ignorant and I can't afford to avoid, but I also just always think like, because like, look at all the people in America or like even like in the UK who are like so appalled by the fact that like Donald Trump is now in office and blah, blah, blah. But like, actually, like, there were so many people who voted for him that he is in that position. So it's difficult sometimes not to feel demoralized. I sometimes think, like, is my vote, does it really matter? But like, it does matter.
So does.
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
Ironically, it's like that is unfortunately the mindset that often leads people to that place, because so many people don't turn up to vote, and then it's like, if they did, that could have like changed the result of what they get. And it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people are very understandably disenfranchised with politics and politicians, because why would we not? Because they don't exactly have the best rep. Politicians and like regular folk, there's a bit of a disconnect sometimes, isn't there, with connection or relatability, because they just like men in suits, aren't they? Who are all upper class, and they don't always necessarily understand the life and experiences of like working class people. But it is a difficult one because people are just brainwashed a lot of the time, especially with Nigel Farage. It's like these people are so dangerous because they just spew out lies and propaganda of it all, and before you know it, people are like making big decisions with that information. It's like, guys, we need to like wake up to this. It's bloody scary.
No,
but
it is. It's
sometimes
terrifying.
all it takes is a convo.
Yeah. I just think like, again, it's like we lived under a conservative government for God knows how long, and we were like dying for Labour to come in, and then they came in and they just made a big mess. So
the whole thing. I was actually having this conversation with my mum recently because we're into the news and all that stuff, and it's like, I find, unfortunately, as each cycle comes around in each general election or whatever you're voting for, it tends to just have to be this like tactical vote of like who's the less evil person that we can stop from getting in. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, the people you do vote in are still not always that great, and they can't fix everything you want them to fix. Not that I would expect one singular party to be able to just like magically fix everything overnight. But it's sort of like, okay, how many more rounds can we go through till we actually find someone who's semi-competent in
Yeah.
like ruling our country?
I know.
But I think, yeah, it's fair to say, I think we can all agree, certainly on the Weekly Wigs here, that Nigel Farage is not the answer to that.
No,
because
he's definitely not.
He's just an arsehole, isn't he? And he's so
Yeah.
ugly. He's so fucking ugly. He's so
He is
minging.
really ugly. And it's just like a bit pathetic too, because he was on like I'm a Celebrity as well, wasn't it? And it's
Oh,
like,
he's horrible at that.
if you want to be
Oh.
taken seriously as like a politician or somebody who you genuinely, you feel like you can like,
And he's eating a bull's penis. Like,
you know, like I'm not going to take you seriously.
No.
Sorry.
And also, he's like, what is he, the MP for Clacton-on-Sea or somewhere? And he's
Mm.
never there. These MPs are supposed to like represent their constituencies, and he's literally never there because
No.
he doesn't care. And it's like, oh, I wish more people could see that. But I guess it'll be an interesting few more weeks and months, I think, in the UK for us talking about politics, because it'll be very telling as to which direction we'll go. But let's hope Nigel Farage doesn't get in. That's what we pray and hope for over
Fingers
here.
crossed.
Moving swiftly on from it.
Yeah, thank God.
Next one, hot or not, airports.
I think hot, you know. I really like an
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
I think it's all part of the holiday. Like it's exciting for
experience.
me. I love going there. I love to be there like hours early and go and have a little
Yeah.
wander around the duty free. I
Have a
really like
peruse. Depends on the airport sometimes, though, because some airports be shitter than others. Because I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of like Bristol Airport, for example.
Yeah.
It's a little bit small and crowded for the amount of people that are often there. And maybe I've just gone at bad times where it's just been like thousands of flights. But if you take me to like a little T5 Heathrow moment, I feel really, really bougie there. I'm like, oh, it's quite nice, this terminal.
Well,
Love it.
so I haven't flown. I don't think I've flown from Heathrow for years, to be honest. I have flown from Bristol the last couple of times, and I think I've flown like very early the last couple of times, and it
Yeah.
hasn't been too bad. But
Early mornings.
yeah, I think it's part, like you said, I think it's, or like I said, rather, it's part of the holiday. Like that's when I start
Yeah.
getting all excited. So
It's always great on the way out because you're like buzzing for your alls, but I can't lie, it is always a bit sad when you're on your way back and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to stand in the queue and check in, and like, I don't want to go home. So it's
Yeah,
a bit of a
that's
different
very
experience
true.
depending on what way you're going. But yeah, I quite like
Yeah.
an airport. As the only time I don't like an airport is when people are just like being useless. Like people lose their inhibitions in airports, and I feel like everyone just loses brain cells. And so maybe it's because I'm a seasoned traveller these days and I just don't have
Yeah.
the patience for it now. But like when you're going through security and people like huddle at you get like your trays. Like I
Yeah.
just had this now in when I was leaving to go to Barcelona, and like, no offense, but people are just so thick. Like I'm just like, can you just move along? Like there's literally a queue of people.
Yeah.
What do we all do, folks? We pick up the box of our bags and we move out the way. And it's like no one does it. And I'm like, oh. And you're just trying to get through and get your bag. So maybe I'm just a bit impatient, but I do get a bit angsty when other people are being useless in an airport.
No,
But
I know.
once you're past the idiots, it's fine. Find myself a little corner, like plug my phone in.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just find a little spot. But
Well, I feel like that's in any situation in life, though, not just
very
airports.
true.
And my boyfriend says I'm very impatient, but it's true. Like I just think, like, what are you doing? Like I was even just in Waitrose today, and there's a lady coming down with her trolley, and the width of the aisle is only big enough for one of us to pass, and rather than move to the side so that I can go that way, she just stops dead in the
Yeah.
middle, and I'm like, that's stupid. Just move.
I agree. I'm like that every day when I walk in, like through the city, and city's obviously quite notorious for, you've ultimately got some of your visitors, your tourists, and people
Yeah.
are slower than others and all the rest of it. But like, why does no one remember how to do single file from like the school days? Is that not the most like basic thing we ever learnt as kids? Is
No.
like single file, children, and like you'll be in. It's always groups of people. It's like a group of 3 people, and they take up the entire like pavement, and you're and you're like, are you gonna move anytime soon, or shall I just jump in the road? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
I know.
maybe we're just impatient people.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. I'm like, guys, come on now. Bit of etiquette, bit of social etiquette.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's just etiquette and a
Yeah.
bit of common sense, isn't it?
Yeah. But to be fair, when you get through the idiots at the airport, it's that feeling of getting on the plane,
Yeah.
taking off on your alls. So I kind of agree, like, hot for the fact that you're off on your alls and it's like part of the journey, isn't it? Part of the
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, definitely.
Well, this brings us on to our final hot or not.
Oh.
Hot or not, the Weekly Wigs.
Oh, definitely hot.
Correct answer. Well,
The
I've
hottest.
very much enjoyed having you on the Weekly Wigs. We've had a nice little 2-hour convo,
We
which
have.
we've yapped away. This will probably end up being a 2-parter again because we love a 2-parter here.
There we are.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the people before we end our ep? Anything to the world?
Just be nice to each other, really. That's my message. Just be nice to
That's a good
each other. Just smile and just don't be a prick,
happy.
basically. And just don't stop in the middle of the aisle in Waitrose. Just
Great
move to the
life
side.
lessons to be learned all
Yeah.
around, I say. Well, thank you, Kate, for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time to come
You're
on the Weekly
welcome.
Wigs.
Thank you for having me.
All the links for your socials will be in the bio. Make sure you all go drop it a follow. And as usual, subscribe, like, share the episodes if you've enjoyed what you listen to. And we'll be seeing you again very soon. Much more welcome to come back on the pod in future if you'd like.
Will. I'd love to.
And we'll see you in the future. So, bye, girl.
Goodbye.